David Noble. We're live now.
I don't. Hello and welcome to Inspire Synergy. I'm your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. They are one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in wealth management, employee benefits, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of Husky Talk, and we thank him for everything he's done. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Renell Jump. Apparently, Razul is happy to be talking with him. I'm glad that worked out, and that's just the magic. That what I do, I just connect people and bring people together so they all make money except me. Green Street Trust, they specialize in tax plans for businesses large and small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. They also offer many other services. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. I saw Pete a couple weeks ago. It's great to see him and his daughter. If you suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, you were hit with a construction beam at a site, your mother-in-law tried to run you over with a car, the Finch Firm is for you. Pete has gone to war with insurance companies all over the state of Connecticut, and he will win. He will do whatever it takes to get every single dollar you deserve in compensation. All you have to do is go to his website, thefinchfirm.com, and remember, if you're ever in a pinch, call Finch. Dynamic Human Performance is owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon, and I am currently with his roommate, James. Andre has a state-of-the-art 5,000 square foot facility. He trains boys and girls of all ages, of all sports. He just started a new boot camp program every morning at 6 a.m. If you want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He also has an athletic development program for boys and girls, whatever sport they want to focus on. He trains them from the ground up, develops them, helps them to become the best that they can be, and hopefully have an opportunity to play in college. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship, on all playing in all different types of sports. To work with him, just go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. Down south, we have Julius Williams, who runs the Trench Mob in Decatur, Georgia. Julius trains offensive and defensive linemen, and let me tell you, he has the best I have ever seen. They compete in 5v5 tournaments, which is a new concept. It's offensive versus defensive linemen. There's rounds. They score points. Julius's Trench Mob is currently ranked second in the nation, although he disputes that profusely. He believes he should be number one. They are currently doing college camp tours. And when you go to a college camp wearing the Trench Mob gear, that makes a tremendous difference. That will get you noticed. That will help get you evaluated. And anything Julius says to a college coach, they listen. Julius has sent kids to Florida, Florida State, Miami, Tennessee, Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama, just to name a few. The best of the best. If that's what you want to do, he also has a training program for students or student athletes who are not in the Gwinnett County area. He can train you out of state. He will talk to you on the phone. He will help you with recruiting. All you have to do to sign up is go to battleofthetrenches.com. And now for the men of the hour, Ja is and happy, and he's also fathering for good, as opposed to Razul, who's fathering for bad. And we also have James with us. James, who played at UConn back in 07 and 08. It's a pleasure to meet you.
So James, you go by Jameson, right?
Yes, Jameson for sure.
Sorry, man.
It's all good. Don't worry. Just call me Jam for short. That's what they know me as.
He's been fucking up John's name.
I
You can't even say J-H as it happy. You just say John.
I didn't get Ja's name right for a month, so sorry.
Like that.
Jameson. All right,
Yes.
Jameson.
Thinking of Irish whiskey.
Yes.
Jelly Jam.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Played 2007, 2008, came from Wisconsin, was on the Meineke Car Care Bowl team and the International Bowl team. I had such a great time in Toronto. I just love the strip clubs there. I'm sorry.
Is this on Facebook Live?
I mean, Cody it is.
Why, what is there, you don't, are you embarrassed that I'm talking
I am
about
not.
strip clubs?
I like strip clubs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just the red-blooded American male. I mean,
There you go.
Yeah.
is that okay? I mean, I don't know. Do you would you feel more comfortable if I was talking about hiring male escorts? I can do that if you want.
Yes.
Have you hired a male escort, Cody?
Have I hired a male escort? No, I have not. I have not hired a male escort. No.
Yeah.
But I did have a discussion with Tyler King on his podcast the other day because he was telling me about having an Eskimo pie with someone.
That's
And I didn't really understand what that meant.
I don't even know what it is.
Let's move on.
You never heard it?
Never
Yeah,
told me.
No, I have no idea what that's going
But once he explained, it's an Eskimo brother or Eskimo twin, whatever it is. I didn't think it was that bad once he explained it, but it's bad.
It depends on the standard.
That's true.
Do you know what it is? The Eskimo pie or twin or brother? I can't remember the exact thing.
I know Eskimo brother.
All right, that's what he was saying. He was Eskimo brothers with someone,
Okay.
and I didn't
Eskimo
understand
pies
why.
sound like a whole nother level.
That is another level. It is.
I was just thinking about it, and I'm Eskimo brothers with people. Like, why is that so bad? Like he took it personal. He was like offended that I kept bringing it up.
Who was?
Tyler.
Oh, was it?
When were you bringing it up? Were you live on Facebook when you brought this up?
Yeah, we were talking about. He's the one who brought it up.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
we
he
were
got offended
talking
after he brought
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
We were talking about UFC, and because he used to fight in the UFC, and he was apparently Eskimo pies with a girl, an Eskimo brother with a girl on there, and I was just being a good host.
Sibling, maybe.
Eskimo sibling.
Yeah.
I was just being a good host and inquiring like, what's an Eskimo pie? And he got mad at me that I didn't know what it was.
He does.
And then he refused to explain it to me on the air. And then when he told me off the air, I'm like,
come later.
GPT.
Right.
I don't know if I want
Your phone
that.
is
I don't know if I
over
want
there.
that in my browser, my Chat GPT browser. They gotta start treating me differently.
You want to be authentic with ChatGPT. You want it to understand your full
ChatGPT.
the good and the dark
Hey, I'm
side.
about to say, my vulnerabilities. Let's see.
Exactly. So that it knows how to move.
Well, I just didn't understand why he was
I do
so
it.
That's very
upset
true.
about it.
That's very
I didn't think it was such a big deal. The Eskimo brother.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But I can see why.
Well,
you-
as far as I understand it,
Mom,
it's two men that have hooked up with the same girl before, right?
Right. That's what an Eskimo brother is, right?
But a pie.
That's what he
but
said.
that's
Pie,
love
you
it.
know, that's.
No, I think he said Eskimo brother. I'm pretty sure it was brother. So there.
I have
So you're
pie, I
saying
think, the same
there's
time.
two terms. You're saying.
For you,
That's more than sword fighting.
So there's two terms. All right. Well, all right. He didn't explain that. He didn't explain that part. I didn't know there were two terms. I didn't know there were.
I don't think there are. I think
Oh,
just
so
made that one
Razul
up.
just created.
No, I did. Cully was just saying. So when I heard it, I'm
He's
like,
got.
oh,
He
that's
said
right.
Eskimo brother.
You
Yeah.
just created something new.
And I just kept saying Eskimo pie, and he was getting mad. But then he explained it's like an Eskimo brother is you had sex with the same girl. I'm like, well, half our team had sex with the same girls. Like, what's the big deal?
The girls had sex with the same guys.
I feel like the girls.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
I feel
What's
like
the big deal?
Especially if you're in a football team, I feel like you got hunted.
Maybe or the bat.
I mean, I was having sex in my bed in Hilltop Apartments. Terry came downstairs and threw hot sauce on me.
You have a hot, Brazil has a hot sauce.
Red hot on me.
Didn't with the prank with the jockstrap.
Oh, that wasn't hot. That was icy hot.
Icy hot.
Oh,
Icy
yeah.
hot.
Oh, that was bad. I had that too.
Icy hot.
Yeah.
In my
Oh,
jock.
man.
Let me tell you,
You don't feel it. I didn't feel it.
that is the worst fucking feeling that you could ever have.
Wars. Oh, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
That is the worst.
Tempered.
Oh, it just there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Like I was ready. I remember I was ready to go to the porta potty and just take my girdle off. It just hurt so bad. But anyway, what am I supposed to be talking about here? Okay, so the House of Changes. How are things at the house currently after last week having a couple things going on? Have things settled down, gotten back into a groove?
He's talking about with the hospital.
Oh, so
Well, you forgot that fast. Okay.
Well, we are busy. We are
very
busy.
busy.
No, I know you. I know.
So we got to the hospital and their tests came back negative.
We talked about that. Yeah.
We talked
And-
about that. So
yeah. Yeah. Honestly, the worst place to go
Is the
for anything drug related, unless it's an overdose, is the hospital, because they kick you out as fast as they possibly can. They want that bed.
Mm-hmm.
They give you. They honestly treat you like a criminal. They treat you very, very poorly. In my experience, they have a very, very a lack of sympathy and empathy for you or what you're going through. It's just, there's just another addict again. Just let's get them out of here. Or they think you're drug seeking, and that completely changes their demeanor. And I've seen that happen before. And it's really unfortunate because there are some hospitals that go out of their way to have you meet with a drug counselor or a social worker, and will ask you, like, do you want to go to rehab? Do you want to get help? And they'll place you. They'll try to find you a place to get help. Otherwise, they just kick you out. So it just kind of depends on where you go. But I mean, would you say you had a good experience at this place?
At the hospital?
Without naming the place?
Or
do you think they were short with you?
So I went with Marcus and the resident, but
Mhm.
Marcus actually escorted them into the hospital because there was no service in there, and I was communicating with him via text from outside because I couldn't. There was a lot of calls. We had some calls that we had to take. So I actually had to take calls outside, and I communicated with Marcus via text.
They couldn't get in the hospital.
No, they got in. But what I'm saying is,
they
I
got
didn't
in.
have service when I went inside.
Yeah,
I got you.
So I worked from outside while Marcus was inside with our resident.
So there wasn't an ambulance involved or anything.
No.
He was able to
The
go on
house
his
is
own.
like right across the street from the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
so you can walk.
So you can walk there, and what he said was essentially they did the drug test, which took a very long time. Like
Really?
a couple hours just for them to get the drug test done.
For blood or urine?
I think they did a blood test. We did a urine at the house.
Blood.
And they did a
Okay.
blood test at the house.
They did a blood screen. Wow. And
Yeah.
it took it took hours to get that back.
It took a couple hours.
But
That's
it's
it's
how
ridiculous.
soon did they do the blood test? It probably took them some time to actually pull the blood.
It took them because when we got
To
there,
draw
it
the
was
blood.
like 9:30, between 9 and 9.
Yeah, because you're low priority. They get to you like 5 hours later.
And it's the phlebotomist that does it, right?
So, it's I think I'm pretty frank and straightforward about the fact that I don't have experience with this. Learning as I go, right? So, we had connected with some different entities around, like basically these are where the what do they call it? The detox are.
The detox
are. And when you need to, you can just basically take them there. But the morning of, when we were getting ready to go there, we called them and they were like, well, there's a little bit more of a process and you kind of have to get a referral. And they were like, so then we
Some
talked
places
to,
do require that, yes.
But they
Right.
should have said it when we called the first time.
yeah. So there was, right. So that's where we had that. So we have like a caseworker who volunteers, who we reached out to, and she said to just go to the hospital. And
Okay.
so we're actively seeking
The referral.
an organization to act as the case manager, just because.
I can provide that for you.
Well, the
You're
thing
like-
is, so we might be working with Ro on actually building something out for that internally.
Okay.
So I am conscious of it, and I was going to meet with some partners this week, but we couldn't coordinate a schedule. But that might have been a blessing in disguise because it might make more sense to just wait a week or two.
Are you going to meet with Uwe?
Why?
Why?
Well,
mean-
he's on your board. I didn't know would he
He'd be
be
in the board meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a board meeting next Thursday. that,
okay.
Hopefully he'll be there, but he's on the board.
Well, why do you
so-
bring up Uwe?
Yeah, we're making-
Because the person who got me into detox and helped me, her mother lives in Florida now, but the daughter Madeline went to high school with me. She is now a nurse. So her mother was the head nurse at this detox center in New London. That's where I went to detox.
Does Madeline work?
Madeline works at a hospital, I believe. But I think that her mother would still have contacts at the detox in New London.
Remember which detox center?
He said.
I just knew it was in New London.
Was it
I don't
Sky?
remember the name.
Was it Sky?
I don't know. I was angry and I was ready to leave. So I really wasn't paying attention to where I was.
So, Cully, I would say yes, please. Thank you.
But what I would also say is, I believe you can go to Walgreens or Rite Aid, and you can get a test for fentanyl, because fentanyl has to be tested for completely separate from the other drugs.
Well, let me ask this to get clarity, right? Because I'm in the opioid task force, and they meet monthly. So to get, they said,
Really?
and Norris has opioid to help. It's a group of different organizations
They
that
wanna
come together
end
to try to figure out how to improve that situation, support the individuals that have.
Yeah, the crisis, right?
And create a better infrastructure
Right.
for support, because there's a lot that kind of goes along with it,
Right.
and shared resources and
Well, there's a lot that falls through the cracks.
exactly
Right.
and they don't want anything to fall. That's why they have the task force.
Right.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So
That's good of you, Razul.
yeah.
He's a good guy
So
and a good dad, not a bad
Why
dad.
do you always wear blue blazers? That's the other thing. You always wear blue blazers.
Huh?
You always wear blue blazers. What's with the blue blazers?
I actually
black
don't wear
one?
this one that frequently, but I wore this at the fundraiser. And that's
Yes,
why-
you
that's
did,
like the
and
first-
angered me.
All your marketing
and it
has
is
the blue blazer.
right. So
I
then,
wore a
the
blue
brown one the
blazer.
most.
Chris Hill's wedding because of you.
what'd you say?
I wore a blue blazer at Chris Hill's wedding
Nice.
because
You look up to
I was out
Razul.
of spite because no, it was out of spite.
You look up to Razul.
Because Razul wore a blue blazer, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna wear a blue blazer. Everyone, this is formal. Everyone's wearing black. I'm wearing a blue fucking blazer. Fuck that.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
And I'm gonna get a red one next. I want to get a nice like Suge Knight red one. Blood red.
You gotta make sure it's velvet. It ain't go red.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta be red
Oh,
velvet.
Velvet? They'll make it velvet.
Yeah, red velvet.
Oh.
I got one of those. It's
word.
trust me.
That's got to be soft.
Yeah, trust me. It's a go-to.
Oh, okay.
Go-to.
I'll get fitted for that for sure.
Yeah. So when you pull it out, make sure I get to see that thing.
Yeah.
I will. Is that something? I can't get that at like a Men's Warehouse. I mean, I got to go somewhere nice to get that right.
Yours.
Actually, I got mine from Burlington.
Yeah.
Word.
Oh, you did? Really?
Yeah.
Burlington
I got a
Velvet one?
has
same
coat.
navy blue velvet one too.
Oh, word.
Both
Okay.
from Burlington.
All right. You know, it'll class up a little bit. See, I'm wearing a Hulk Hogan Hawaiian shirt right now.
Wow.
I see it.
Yeah.
And do you know, I believe to this day I'm the only person who owns a Hulk Hogan Hawaiian shirt.
I've never seen one
Do you
anywhere
think?
else.
Do you think Hulk Hogan owns one?
No, I tweeted him, I Facebooked him, I've harassed him. I said, I'm going to keep doing this until you respond
Really?
with a like or a retweet. And he gave me, he did give me a like. It did take an hour. It did take like an hour and maybe a couple days, but he did give me a like.
Okay, I like that.
But I think it's only because they don't sell it at Hogan's Beach Shop. So it's like technically not his apparel. So that's why he may have been
He's
miffed.
not making profit on it.
Exactly.
You're cheating on Hulk Hogan.
Listen,
You want
listen,
to be his
I've
thing?
given Hulk Hogan plenty of money. Believe me. My entire wardrobe is Hulk Hogan apparel for the most part. So you went to the hospital, they did the blood test, it took forever to come back, and it came back negative.
Yeah.
So all right, that's pretty legit then. If it wasn't urine, blood is obviously more consistent. But just so you know, for the future, if you ever have concerns, go to a drugstore, Walgreens or Rite Aid, and just buy the straight fentanyl test.
Now let me ask you this, because
You can't buy the 7-panel one.
I asked in the opioid task force, and they talked about a specific fentanyl test, but the test was to like test the actual drug to make sure that it wasn't like tainted. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So
I know they do that.
Is that what you're talking about, or is this like
No.
It's like
I know what they're talking about. That's what they drip something on it, and if it turns a certain color, then they know that it's fentanyl. That's usually a precursor. I know that there's a urine test that you can buy. It's a 1-panel urine test, and it just tests straight for fentanyl. Because the 7-panel test, where it's benzos, opioids, all the other stuff, it won't show because it doesn't come up as an opioid.
Well, let me ask you, because the test that we have, it does have
it had fentanyl in the 7-panel. It was part of it.
It does, but I'll say this: it seems to have, or I don't know, and I don't know if there's a way to manipulate it or not, right?
You
Like
can't.
if I take that test, fentanyl's not gonna come up, right? But this individual, even when he came in, he tested positive the first time we did it, and then not positive the second time he did it.
Oh, you tested him twice, and,
Right. So
it
when
was,
he first comes to the house, they all get tested.
wow, it was inconclusive. Wow.
So that happened with him that time, and then it happened this time. So to me, I can't. And we asked the doctor there about the medication that he takes, and the doctor said that the medication should not create that kind of false positive.
It shouldn't.
So there's a degree of uncertainty, or like
What I would say is fentanyl is it's shorter acting in your system, so it's something that he could have passed through if there was like time in between, a couple hours before, especially if you were waiting hours to get blood drawn. It could have been out of the system by then, because I can tell you, when I was forced to go to detox, I snuck in the bathroom, and I think I did about 4 bags of fentanyl, And by the time we got to New London for the detox, I tested clean.
Wow.
It was I think it was already out of my system. So it's tricky in the fact,
really quickly.
yeah, it's short lasting. That's why people kind of have to use it more and more. But you know, heroin will come up as an opioid. That's the other thing. So there's a difference between fentanyl and heroin. If you test for heroin, if you think someone's using heroin, heroin is broken down by morphine, which is an opioid. So heroin will show up as an opioid. But I didn't know that they had 7-panel tests that included fentanyl. So that's what I would like to see the validity of to kind of test it out.
We should.
Yeah, I guess.
Have you had others that have tested positive on it before, or not really?
I think
only
he's
this
only
person.
been him
It's
ever.
just this person's the only one.
And it was random, and it wasn't like he was away for a weekend or anything like that.
You missed
They missed
curfew,
curfew.
and that's why they did it. This is
He just missed curfew, but it was during the week.
During the
He
week.
had been in the house.
He was going all day. He was going out of the house all day.
Right.
He
Was he someone who had a job?
He doesn't have a job. Nope.
But he was okay. So he was gone from the house all day. Okay.
Yeah.
And he missed curfew. He didn't go to a meeting or anything like that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure if you go to one of the pharmacies, I would ask specifically for a fentanyl test and not the 7-panel one. See if I'm pretty sure they have just the fentanyl test, and that is the most accurate. But the blood test is definitely accurate, and I think that was probably out of his system by then.
we have access to a couple pharmacists, so we can get some feedback on it. So I can.
Yeah, the pharmacist, no. I'll even ask Madeline. Madeline would know.
Yeah.
But I can definitely put you in contact with Madeline because that's a good protocol for you to have, where you'll be able to send someone right to detox.
Yeah.
How far away is New London from you?
Not that far.
Not far. You get right on the highway. You get there in like 20 minutes.
Did I go to SCAD? I don't know. I was threatening to sleep on a park bench. I was doing a lot of things. Somebody pissed themselves, and I raised holy hell. I was very bad detoxer, but I did get everyone into watching wrestling.
Okay.
I'm a big WWE fan, and we were all going through withdrawals and sweating and miserable, and I just got them into it on a Monday night. We watched Monday Night Raw, and these 10 people who thought I was crazy, never watched wrestling before, they were fucking going nuts by the main event.
Did you get them hyped up, Cully? Did you get
I
them
got them hyped up because it was the only thing keeping me sane. It was like when you're going through withdrawal, you have to distract yourself. So you're like, I don't feel like shit. So you just get into the matches. So I was getting into the matches, and I was almost doing commentary. I was calling out the moves. I was saying, "Oh, this is Randy Orton. Oh, he's an asshole. He's a fucking bad guy. Look at this shit. He's got a chair. He's hitting with a fucking chair. What a pussy." I was getting them all into it. Like, yeah, he's a real pussy. Fuck him.
Wait, do you get nauseous when you go through withdrawals? Is it nausea, cold sweats?
I never got nauseous. Other people did, yes. The only thing that's dangerous, if you detox from opioids, it honestly 72 hours, and it's really like having the flu. The dangerous detox is benzos, benzodiazepines, which is Xanax, Ativan, Valium, that sort of thing, because you can have seizures, which can cause death. Those are the only ones that are really serious. But like I've tried
cocaine.
What's that?
Not even cocaine.
No, blow. I never had any really withdrawal symptoms. I just slept all day. You sleep all day and you're fine. It's not life threatening. The only one that's life threatening is benzos. Any amphetamines, blow, Adderall, whatever, are pretty like mild withdrawal. You're just tired. You don't sweat. You don't have anxiety. You're just super, super tired. But benzos are the toughest. Opioids, you feel the worst. But as far as like danger, it's not dangerous. It's not life threatening. So that's what I would say. Out of amphetamines, benzos, there's the other one I'm forgetting. It begins with a B. It's the one that Marilyn Monroe died from it. I can't remember the name of it. But most people, that's what they struggle with. But I mean, you have guys with Marcus has, was it 4 years? He said.
I think it might be 3.
3 years, yeah. So that's really good. I mean, the biggest issue is your brain chemistry completely changes, and it takes honestly 2 years of being clean to rewire your brain so it's normal again.
Yeah,
that's the biggest struggle a lot of people have with it. So that's why having the House of Changes is such an important piece of the recovery process, because technically it should be detox, a rehab facility, and then you go to a halfway house. And then the halfway house is where you start to rebuild your life and your independence. So that's why I had wanted to help out as much as I did, because I can't believe you own a halfway house. That would be the last thing I'd expect you to own. And I know the value of what it did for me, because like I said, I was counting, I when I first got to rehab, I was counting down the seconds of the 28 days that I just wanted to leave. But then when I realized my fiance wanted nothing to do with me, I didn't want to go home and live with my parents, I stayed for their IOP program, which involved a halfway house. And it made all the difference in the world, because I still got to go to the groups in the morning, which were very helpful. You're there until noon, and then you have the afternoon off. Some guys worked. I watched Netflix and went to the gym. And then at night, we went to meetings. So I really, it really helps to build some structure. And that's the biggest part when you start over, is it's so overwhelming. But the failure of what we had, they did not provide aftercare. We had social workers, but as far as providing, okay, we know that your insurance is going to be up in 30 days. We need to make a plan. We need to, you're from Pennsylvania. We need to find you a halfway house. We need to start getting you to apply for jobs. We need to prepare for when you leave. And that was the failure of the place that I went. They didn't do that. There were more people that I saw that just got a bus ticket, got dropped off at a bus station. That was it. And that's why what you're doing is huge. And that's why I said, expanding upon it, your idea of working with, different, I don't know if it was trade schools or trying to job skills, is brilliant.
First of all,
I know they're older and it may not fit, but I guarantee there's something in there that they can learn and use.
I think we can find things that do fit.
I agree.
you know,
I agree.
interests and their physical, you know, may have a physical, yeah, but you know, they can do something creative.
Yeah.
You can move into a managerial role.
Absolutely.
You know, you can kind of. So that's a big reason why Jameson is here today. He has
Okay.
experience in that
In the community.
that workforce development, and he went
Okay.
in the community. So if you want to do your elevator,
Yeah. What have you been doing, James?
Yeah,
Jameson.
so it's all
you
good.
did that on purpose.
That one I did on purpose. Yes.
Yeah, so I have a nonprofit called the African American Society. And so we're a nonprofit dedicated to celebrating the culture, the heritage, and contributions of the African diaspora. So we do
That's
that.
awesome.
We do that. Yeah, thank you. We do that through community service, organizing, engagement, things like, you know, we gave away around 400 backpacks last summer. We're doing something this summer as well. We do an annual trip called Melanin in the Wild. We take Black folks up to Vermont for an overnight camping trip for 2 days, and we try to
like a retreat almost.
yeah, and we try to really focus
that's
on
great.
accessibility. So we really want to focus on getting folks who historically have not had access to certain green spaces or certain spaces, period, access to those spaces and access to those resources. So yeah, we recently acquired an 83-acre farm in Northwest Connecticut for $1 a year for 7 years. And so we're actually
That's
creating
amazing.
a program. Thank you. We're creating a program called Diaspora's Path, which is a farm school program where we're going to bring out, you know, at-risk
that's huge.
from 6th to 9th grade up to the farm so they can learn about how to be a steward of the land without having the generational trauma of being enslaved passed down. Instead, they're focused
Right.
yeah, instead they're focused
Like-
on, you know, climate change, environmental justice, anti-racism, things like that, right? Because the whole point is we're all for money going to where it needs to, right? Meeting folks where they are. So going money in the hood, whether that's Bridgeport, New Haven, you know, West Haven, wherever the case may be. But just as importantly,
Brilliant. Yeah.
we need to have opportunities for those same people to go outside of the community so they can have experiential hands-on opportunities of learning. And so that's what that's part farm is, and that's what a lot of our programs do, is that we create opportunities, you know, for folks who have historically not been have been accepted in certain areas, for them to feel accepted in those areas, but to thrive, not just survive. Right?
What's the age group that you are? What are you laughing? What are you laughing at me for, Russ?
No, his
No,
language,
it's
man.
not you. It's-
Josh, stop making him laugh. I don't want him laughing.
Why?
He's got an
It's
annoying
the
laugh.
color.
This is
And he purposely whitens his teeth. I know he went.
No, it's the filter I put in.
who whitens their teeth?
Your teeth.
not
are
whiten
so
my
fine
teeth,
in
you
the
know.
road.
Filter.
Yes, you do.
It's the filter.
So, what's the age group that you cater to? Would you say?
Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
we're reaching after 6th to 9th graders. So this
Okay.
was actually supposed to be our first year. We just acquired the farm about 3 or 4 months ago. Unfortunately, we lost about $625K because it was federal funding that we were going to be receiving.
So the new administration.
And so,
Oh,
yeah. So we lost. So what was
the-
supposed to be this year was supposed to be like our launch year, our big year to, like, you know, build sustainability in the program, do all the amazing things. We've had to take a step back because we obviously haven't received the $500,000 that we're supposed to see.
Was this the DEI stuff?
We got a letter that literally said, due to wasteful DEI, and that's what the title of the executive order was. Due to wasteful DEI, I forgot what the rest was, but we weren't going to be considered for the award,
Even though you're already awarded.
Were there any other?
So we were not awarded yet,
Okay.
but we felt really confident, and we were having conversations with the folks that were they put money through what's called Tic Tacs. And so, you know, when federal money goes out and goes dispersed, they reach out to local organizations in different EPA regions. So we're Region 1, and
Right.
in Region 1, Yukon Extension is the Tic Tac where the money's being passed through. And so we were in, you know, direct conversations and
How close was this to actually happening when the rug got pulled out?
Well, we felt confident, so we felt like we were really, really close. We felt like we had a true opportunity to be awarded.
Like a month away, weeks away.
Probably like a month to two, probably like 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
So like if we were awarded, we would have probably have gotten the money. What's this, June? Right around this time, maybe a
And
month.
there was no appeals process. There was nothing.
No, the money's not even there anymore for them.
Yeah,
to-
I know.
So, like,
Elon
you're
Musk.
killing
is
zero
great.
at this point. Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my Tesla.
Exactly. So we as an organization, what we're trying to do now is make the switch to more philanthropic and corporate sponsorship funding, rather
Yes.
than leaning on
Yeah.
federal and leaning on state funding. So we're making that switch. It's a difficult switch because historically that has been the areas where organizations of color, specifically Black organizations, have not had as much success.
God, you
And
sound
so
just like Chris
It's a
Bellamy.
difficult transition, but the work that we're doing is not only needed, it's essential.
it's huge.
It's essential. So like we're keeping our head down and we're just focused, which is how we were able to come across Ja and Razul was just meeting the right folks.
Do you actually own the farm yet?
Oh, so we're leasing it for 7 years. So how that worked is that
You do have that. Okay.
yeah. So I got a random email from a friend because I went to law school. So I got my JD.
Oh.
I got my JD from Vermont Law School and my master's in environmental law and policy. And so
So
my
you got someone smarter than me on the show too.
Kelly,
You had to bring someone smarter.
the memory of an elephant. Talking about, this guy don't forget
Damn
nothing.
it.
But he can't pronounce the name.
That's hilarious. So my 9 to 5 is actually a consulting firm called Righting Wrongs, and what I do there is environmental law, policy development, policy review, environmental justice, energy justice.
You like environmental law.
Oh,
We all do.
that's my whole thing. That's my life. That's my
Really?
passion. Environmental justice is my thing.
Yeah.
In education around that, not just educating legislators and folks who are in power positions, but also the community, right? Oftentimes folks don't realize that they're suffering from energy burden, right? Anybody that pays over
Huge.
3% of their income, that's considered energy burden if you pay more than 3% of your income.
Yes.
If you pay 6% or more, that's severe. Most people I know are paying 10 plus,
Yeah.
and they don't even know they're in a severe. But
No,
what
they don't. They have no clue.
so yeah, it opens up a lot of assistance programs, a lot of assistance opportunities. But if you don't know that, you don't.
But
even
they don't know.
exactly.
I do a show with Chris Bellamy, and
Yeah.
Bellamy advocates for fathers' rights.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he
Yeah, I
says
know
the same thing, that there's so many men out there that
Yeah.
don't even know the
Yeah.
rights that they're entitled to. They don't know the resources available to them.
That's very
And
true.
He developed like a workshop curriculum to try to educate them, so they
That's
can get
literally what we do on the environmental
That's
side.
Yeah.
Kelly.
That's huge.
That's
How
literally
big is
so-
your organization, would you say, right now?
Yeah, so right now we have about 55 members that pay $180 a year for membership, and then we have about 300 on our mailing list. We've only accepted membership for about 7 to 8 months now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
That's
we're trajectory feeling really good. I mean, we're building authentic partnerships with organizations like Community Foundation of Greater New
Yeah.
Haven, and a lot of other kind of local foundations.
Would you work with like the YMCA? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you would.
Well, you got to understand Newton now too, as well as another reason that's so important for us existing is because Job Corps just lost a lot of their funding. Job Corps just lost all their funding, actually.
I know.
Job
Yeah.
Corps is not even going to exist. And so in New Haven in particular, the presence of Job Corps is so important to the community to give kids opportunity to do things after school that
Huge.
nobody really knows what that effect is going to be now that Job Corps doesn't have the necessary funding to exist the way they have.
And it could potentially increase crime.
Oh,
right?
no, potentially. It's
Well,
unfortunately
gonna
almost
happen. It's
guaranteed
gonna increase
just
'cause
because
If people can't eat,
anybody that's from New Haven knows when the temperature goes up, so does the other temperature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the gunplay
Man,
gets serious.
And when are they going to get, like, they're losing revenue
Yeah.
and they're going to try to figure out another way to get the revenue.
is this happening
sure.
in other states as well?
Yeah.
In terms of
It's
Job Corps,
Yeah, is for this
Yeah.
term like
Yeah,
federal,
so-
I know federal funding is being
yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
So I
because
got to
of everything.
give Connecticut some kudos.
Yeah,
right?
of course, of course.
So in Connecticut, the response, especially on affordable housing,
Yeah.
they've gone all in
Yeah.
on supporting it because of a lot of, like, they were going in that direction, but
Yep.
with the administrative shift,
Yep.
they really put their heels in
And you got
on
to
the
now.
state level
Yeah.
because of what's
Good.
going on the federal level.
Yep.
So I got to
Yeah.
give I gotta give Connecticut some flowers.
And they've done it without like having to raise taxes or anything like that.
So typically, what I notice that's on the city and town level.
Oh, okay.
On that type of stuff,
which is bad because reassessment has really turned
it causes some other issues. You know, so it depends on how stabilized the actual city or town is.
Yep.
So if they were pretty stable, they can weather the storm.
Yep.
If they were unstable, like when I lived in Waterbury, there was a lot of corruption. So we
ton
had
of corruption. We
had the leadership get arrested for stealing over and over again.
I know Chris DeSitis was telling me all about it.
To be able to recover from that, you could only imagine how to have a balanced budget to be able to just even like pay.
So, Jameson, are you like for your plan? If things work out or if funding
will work out, it will work out.
It's happening.
I believe. I'm not trying to say it's not.
No.
Would your goal be like in the fall, like to start having students come to the farm?
Yeah.
Like after school?
So we have a whole kind of schedule. What we would do is we would wait until the following spring because we want to keep our schedule. So the way the schedule works is we developed it because you obviously with farming you got to do, a
lot of cultivation.
You got to be disciplined.
No shortcuts.
Yep.
No shortcuts.
And so if you start a little bit late, that could potentially have a whole on the crop or exactly. So what we really want to do, knowing that our funding is not where it needs to be, we want to start small because the thing about what we do as a nonprofit is everything we do is about sustainability. We don't want to do a program that's going to be around for like 3 to 5 years or 10 years.
No,
programs want to be around
for be long term.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to start off with like probably 3 to 5 kids, very small. We want to work the kinks out because it's going to be a lot of transportation. So what happens is we're going to be transporting them from the New Haven, the kind of Bridgeport area on the weekends up until Rumsey Hall, which is the school that released the land from, was nice enough to let us know that they would give us their facilities in the summer. So in the summer, for about a month and a half, we'll be able to have an immersive program.
We'll have access to it.
Stay there for the entire time. And then at the end of it, then we do the harvest stuff. And we do the harvest stuff, then we'll start transporting kids back up again to help with the harvest. So
do you have a vehicle yet for transport?
We buy every weekend. So we're working on funding to get everything.
Yeah.
So for example, we have our main facility. Our main facility is in Hamden, Connecticut, and so that's off of Dixwell Avenue.
Love Dixwell Avenue.
Yeah. So we have 20,000.
I used to go to a bar there. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah. It's always some good bars out there. So
there's a great bar we used to go there. I can't remember it.
Is it Weeds?
No. I used to buy a lot of shots there.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it.
Maybe
I just remember it. No, I just remember it because Dan Orlovsky came.
Damn.
And I was trying
my freshman year of high school.
I was trying to show him up
and
buy more shots than him.
And I couldn't play a freshman. So my first freshman game, I scored 6 touchdowns in that game. And the coach wouldn't let me play freshman anymore for the rest of the year. I started varsity as a quarterback at the 3rd game of the year versus West Haven at the second half of West Haven, and then I started every game for the next 4 years. Hamden High.
Yeah, you didn't make it too far.
No, Hamden at that time was a factory. We had guys coming out. We had Anton Storm.
Yes.
We had Bobby Myers. We had Tarek.
I like Hamden a lot.
We had a lot. Eric Ball went to Syracuse.
Yep.
Rich Cottrell went to Iowa. Willie Harriet went to
Rich Cottrell. Wow, I remember that.
So we had some guys, but
you had a squad.
When it comes to the nonprofit, we're at the stage now because, like I said, we have our main facility, which is a 20,000 square foot facility in Hamden. Which is the event space on one side and the nonprofit on the other. And so the event space.
Razul, why are you still giving me a shit-eating grin, Razul? You're giving me a shit.
It's at me.
Stop looking at him, John.
So if you need some space, come check us out.
Let me ask you this though: would it be something that like people from the House of Changes could take part in? Could they go work on the farm?
Absolutely.
We can write a program.
That's the whole point. I mean, it's 83 acres. We're not going to use 83 acres for the first 3 to 5 kids. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Right.
We also want to work with the Liberated Land Cooperative, which is a cooperative of Black farmers here in Connecticut, to make sure that they know they're also welcome on the land in terms of trying to figure out what that looks like. You know, we're trying to really just create a resilience.
You're really creating opportunity. That's
but it's more than that. Like they're trying to shift.
You got to talk to me like I'm a 3-year-old because I don't.
You are not a 3-year-old. You're brilliant, Kelly.
Absolutely. So let me. What we're creating is a resilience hub, a closed system.
Yeah.
Right. And so it starts with our main building being completely renewable, sustainable energy with solar and the backup battery.
So you do believe in the solar energy? You believe
1,000%, 1,000%,
because it's improving every year. Like it's not like it's not where it used to be.
Yeah. And before I went to law school, I worked for Tesla Energy for 3 years when I was living in LA. So I lived in LA with my best friend and my roommate Josh Tiller Gates, who's also a running back at UConn. We lived in LA together in the downtown Lost for 5 years. And I was working for Tesla.
Is that like South Central?
So that's literally downtown LA, 6th and Spring, right in the corner. Art District, Jewelry District area, about 2 blocks away from Skid Row. So it was a very interesting place. You can be in a multi-million-dollar building, and then you can be in Skid Row buying like flowers.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
You're like a Renaissance man. My God.
You know,
I play an instrument. That's my only other question.
The alto saxophone.
Oh, word.
So you've done it all. I mean, you're an athlete.
Well, listen, I would have been really, really good at alto. I would have been really good if I had a good teacher. The problem was I couldn't read music, but I could play back whatever you played.
Oh, okay.
She hated that.
She hated it?
She hated it, and she made me feel bad because I couldn't read music. And so then I stopped really.
That's like a rare talent to be able to do that.
Well, that's what I thought. But this is 93. You know, we're talking about I got you. Mount Carmel hand. I'm the only black kid in the whole school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like 1 of 4 maybe. You know,
that's like my high school. Yeah, we didn't have any black kids either.
Listen, my girlfriend in elementary school, we ended up becoming a gold medalist skier.
Oh, word.
Should have married her.
Yeah, a gold medalist skier. That
one. You really dropped the ball on that one.
All these No. My girlfriend now she's a wife.
Well, you have to say that. That's
You're
okay.
not single.
No.
Sorry to his girlfriend. I haven't met you yet.
This is live too. Y'all get into it. I see that live thing up there.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
so sorry.
So is your main job working for the nonprofit organization? Like that's your baby?
So my main.
I know you do environmental law, but I'm just.
The consulting firm is my 9 to 5, but the
firm,
okay, 100% my career passion. I would love for it to one day be the 9 to 5, but we need obviously funding for that.
You gotta get the money. Are there grants available?
The grants are available, but here's what's happening on the grant side. The issue with the grant side is that now we're competing against organizations that we never were supposed to compete against. So, for example, I just put out an application not too long ago, and they sent us an email saying they're going to push everything back 3 months because they received over 700 applications. Right now, let me tell you the other side of the story really quickly, which is I was in an equity call. This is the equity call for environmental justice organizations. Again, keyword equity call for EJ education or EJ organizations like myself.
And okay, so it's obviously not equitable.
Exactly. Well, wait to hear this. I get on a call and they're asking me, "Oh, James, what you been up to?" And I say, "Oh yeah, I put up a grant for this application." And one of the big green organizations in that call got really excited and was like, "Oh, we applied for that application too, that grant too." And I thought to myself, you're a multi-million-dollar organization, and we're on an equity call, and you're excitedly telling me that we applied for.
They shouldn't be on that fucking call. Why are you on that fucking call? You have $1 million.
I'm like, yo, like what? We don't even have, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, because everything is in the mud. We're doing this in the mud, right? So we don't even have
No,
like a
I get
budget
it.
because the money that we bring in, I'm able to. I have to then figure out how to keep us moving in terms of like
You got to stay
things.
afloat. I see what you're
Exactly,
saying.
right? So I'm not able to actually plan out. Right, we still have $50,000 of renovations we have to do to get stage one of our renovations. I've been trying to raise $50K for too long now,
Rasul, stop checking your goddamn phone.
and so
I'm sorry, I'm
that's
boring
the
you.
next step for us is raising this $50K.
So I do want to add a little layers to the picture.
Please do, because Rasul's checking his phone.
All right. So the problem is some of these big nonprofit organizations,
Yeah, I know.
funding got cut by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So they have responsibilities.
Mhm.
So they're
Yeah.
now applying
Yep.
for
these grants.
Well, the grants, the pool just got so much smaller because there's
Large.
less funding. So it's
Yeah.
forcing out the new nonprofits. If you're a new nonprofit, I'm going through it with ABBA.
Yep.
Wait, can I interject?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
you're gonna say something.
So one of these organizations, these grants, they're becoming more competitive, and one of
They're very tough to get. I know that.
the criteria is the impact. How big of an impact?
Yeah.
The economic impact, absolutely.
So, part of the reason this is where me and Jock keep looking at each other is because we've been talking with, and I was looking for her name, Ashley, is what she called a fractional program manager. So she kind of is like a consultant.
Manager.
Essentially, what she does is she can take on a task or an assignment of an organization to say, this is what we're trying to accomplish. And she can kind of take that on for a fee.
And this is what we need to do it. Oh, okay.
Right. So
and
wait, let me finish. So one of her strengths is, because she's worked with, we talked about corporate sponsorship.
Yep.
She's worked with different corporations and like from the inside, and she knows how to kind of structure or say, this is how we can have the greatest impact with a number of smaller organizations. And then you can put it together and kind of say, this is the larger impact that we can have so that your application is stronger. So, and when we talked in a, Yale had a Black Business Expo
Innovation
where they talked about how the fact that all these smaller entities are working in silos individually and competing against each other for the same funds, which makes them all less effective when they can be collaborating and working together to
so
access that.
Rasul's talking about solutions.
No, I get that. My question
what
is,
he's referencing is going after corporate.
yes,
sponsorship, which you
Well,
talked
not
about.
even just
You talked about-
sponsorships. It's corporate grants, right?
yes.
So what they care about most is impact.
They want to see that it's going to make a difference, right?
What I'm talking about,
I
what
get it.
Jameson's talking about, is grants through a foundation, right?
Correct.
So they usually target a specific demographic.
Yes.
So the way their boards typically award it is based on track record and experience. So if you're going against,
I see what you're saying.
typically they're not typically.
Someone new is.
We're a brand new nonprofit, right?
They're not going to
One I
hand you
created,
that
the one
money.
Jameson has, brand new, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually the grants we're going after, there's only other people at our level. So when the board is approving, they're saying, well, we want to try something new because what we funded last year wasn't successful, right? But now the new stuff that they can fund are multi-million-dollar. So then it doesn't even make sense for us to invest the time to apply.
It's a waste. Yeah.
Just it's better we spend the time fundraising, spend the time changing
that's gotta
from a
be the focus.
501c3 to 501c4,
Exactly.
whereas a membership model, right?
So there used to be some structure with getting, like for example, the way
You're saying for donors, people who donate.
6 months ago.
just for giving at all, right? Because there used to be a structure in the sense of if you were a new nonprofit or nonprofit in general, you knew when it came to like smaller grants, like the micro grants of 5,000, under 10,000, pretty much, you can get that from certain foundations, certain organizations, right?
And
Then-
they source it specifically for
Yeah,
small nonprofits.
Exactly. And then you move up to like the 50,000 and like in that range.
Because I've had experience with
That's
that
also
too.
in the mid-level foundations are doing that, right? The larger opportunities to gain like 100,000 plus used to be solely in the state and federal area, right?
Right.
So if you want like
Right.
100,000, 200,000, 300,000, you most likely had to go to either state funding or federal. There are a few larger foundations where that you can get that money.
Where you can get
Very,
that.
very few. Majority of
The
the
opportunities aren't there.
big bags are going to come from the federal and state funding. Now that you remove that, right?
It's a war. Jesus.
Exactly. Now everything trickles down.
So I'm understanding this.
Yeah. Now it trickles down to the next. So now you don't have. It's almost like the starter house, right?
Look.
Where heck the starter house disappeared, where you can get a house for $200K, and that's the starter house. That's no longer a thing anymore, right? Now you got
You're going right to the Jesus.
400,000 for a starter house, or
Yeah.
350, whatever the case may be, depending on where you are, right, in the state you're in. It's the same thing that's happening on like the philanthropic giving side, which is you're losing that starter seed money area, right?
Yeah.
Because it used to just be seed money.
That
We call
opportunity
that
is
seed
just
money.
disappearing.
Yeah, here's a quick 50K to get you started, to build a staff, to hire a consultant to help you take that 50K and turn it into 150, right? Because you need a director of development who's solely focused on bringing in money, right? 24/7, 365.
That's what they do.
Me
yeah.
filling out a federal grant with just myself and one other person, that's now, really 20 plus hours.
You're
15
wasting
plus
your
hours
time.
That,
It's a waste of
time.
I can't use in other places that may have been more lucrative. It's an opportunity cost, right? It's as simple as opportunity cost. What's your opportunity cost of being here,
Yeah.
not being somewhere else?
So the benefit is what Razul is talking about, right? So the strategy of coming together,
Mhm.
because this is a people business, it's not a
Yeah,
profit.
you guys all got to unite
So
here. 'Cause this is
I think-
ridiculous.
I think it forces us to upgrade our standards
Mhm.
into pooling together. So
Mhm.
now it's easier.
You got to pool your resources.
Well, it's
Yeah.
easier for the other nonprofit who's small, that's struggling, to say,
Mhm.
all right, it makes sense for me to join forces with you now.
Mhm.
Where before they say, you know what, I'm gonna win it, you're gonna lose it. I'm just
No, you're right. You'll be
But now
stronger
it
together.
forces us to collaborate, which I
Yes.
think is beautiful.
Mhm.
So there are positive consequences.
I
with
think
this.
it's sometimes beautiful. It's not always beautiful.
The other benefit is
There's too many voices sometimes. You got
The
to be
other
careful.
benefit is
That
this
part.
is,
Look at me.
the strategy becomes more sustainable.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're working more like a traditional business model
Mhm.
where
Yes.
you're not asking for a handout, and then it forces you to have a balanced business structure. Because when you go to a corporation, the corporation is going to look at it a lot differently than
Of course.
a federal grant.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because they're if you're going in as a cohort and it's about like it's going to be profitable. I don't need money every year in order to keep this going,
Mhm.
to pay for staff and pay for other stuff,
Mhm.
and it's self-sustaining.
Mhm.
There's a great chance that they're going to go with our cohort
Mhm.
versus even a big company, because
Of course they will.
your plan makes more sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we're not big, so we're a lot more nimble and skinny and fit.
And
You
you
know,
have
we're
different
young.
entities holding each other accountable.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know
So
what I mean?
it's something beautiful that I see, and I see the opportunity. Like back in 2007, 2008, with the housing crashes, there were
I do, but I'm angry about this, but I see the opportunity.
Well,
Is there a racial component to this? Like, do you see
It's always
companies
underlying. It's
that
like,
are white, Caucasian, or whatever?
Well,
Are they
whenever
getting?
you
so like
whenever
when they
you
shifted
attack
from the
DEI,
DEI, right?
it's black. You know,
Because DEI is this is what DEI is. DEI is seen as taking opportunities away from qualified people.
Bellamy explain this all to me.
and
Yes,
giving it to people, right? But the real thing about DEI is it kind of, the objective is to, what's the term where you can give it to your son or your grandkid? What's that called?
What, pass it down, inherit?
No. There's a term for it where you give it to someone
that doesn't deserve it. They didn't earn it.
right. They didn't earn it, but you feel comfortable.
Nepotism.
Nepotism,
Yeah. So what it does
Oh,
is
yeah, white
There you
people
go.
are all
He is
about
smart.
nepotism.
That's like an 8th grade word right there.
right. So
Just talk to me like I'm a third grader. I'll follow.
what DEI does is
Yeah.
it breaks up nepotism.
It does. Yes.
It allows for the actual qualification of a person, regardless of if they look like you or you feel comfortable with them. It gives it levels the playing field. But the way it's twisted is to say, oh, it's giving an advantage to these people of color, right?
Well,
Where it really just
Bellamy-
gives them a real opportunity to go after these opportunities and it not just be given it to someone else who, based on nepotism.
Bellamy explained it to me, which I thought was very insightful, and he's brilliant. He said that the most successful companies and businesses are the ones that are more diverse.
1,000%.
And he also said that the
1,000%.
companies that are more diverse benefit
1,000%.
white females more than anyone.
Yes.
So
That's
it's
really-
not even benefiting the minorities. You're talking about the benefit going towards white women.
Yeah. 1,000.
So,
So to answer your question as well about like the racial factor, and
yeah, because
really quickly about the undertone. So here's the part you have to understand as well, right?
that would worry me.
Well, when it comes to the policies and the procedures, right? Policies and procedures oftentimes have racial dynamics built in.
Yeah,
So
it's subjective.
you don't have to be explicitly racist anymore. You just
No.
have to follow the policies and procedures that are in place, right? So for example, when I do a lot of my
how you interpret them. You can interpret them however you want, right?
Exactly. So when I do a lot of my talks with folks about environmental justice, the first thing I say is, if you're here thinking the system's broke, this conversation isn't for you, because the conversation we're having is about the system working at its peak and the system working exactly how it's designed to work, right? And so when you can get to that level, then we can have an honest conversation from there about what are the actual solutions that are going to have the necessary targeted impact. Now we have to back up a little bit, because when it comes to, and this is, I'm gonna put my lawyer hat on really quickly, even though I'm not barred.
My father's a lawyer, so I get the lawyer hat all the time.
So it's just when you go back to like the affirmative action ruling, right? So the Supreme Court ruled affirmative action and ruled against that. People didn't realize how much of an effect that has across the board, right? It's not just a job thing. You can't use race as a factor, period, now for anything.
No.
So think about that for a second, right? Race is the factor, the sole factor, the only reason why a lot of this discrimination has been built into a lot of these programs, why a lot of discrimination has just happened explicitly. So now you're telling me that we can't use the one factor that was the reason why we are placed in these situations and come back and fix those situations, right? So now you have to be broad in how you go around trying to for lack of a better term, fix what's been broken.
Yeah,
right? I can't say, oh, I'm going to take $100,000 and put that towards, Black boys' development in, whatever the cause might be, because that's discriminatory.
So a good example would be like the GI Bill.
That's considered discriminatory.
Yeah,
if you were saying like you were going to focus on minorities or blacks with learning computer skills,
because you're excluding white men.
Yes.
Because you're excluding white men.
Yeah.
But completely disregard the fact that
they already have the opportunity.
Will allow his sons and people who he's close to, regardless of their qualifications.
Yeah, it's nepotism.
To take a job or a position so nepetism is okay.
Yeah, it just gets passed down.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is considered.
That's what Bill Belichick's doing right now. It's nepotism. He's giving his son that job there. That's the whole reason he went to North Carolina.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I mean, these are just factors that, again,
it seems overwhelming to me. Like,
that's why it's frustrating.
And it's been going on for so long, right?
And I love your passion, energy, and enthusiasm. It seems overwhelming, and I just would like, where do you start? Like, is it going to corporations and trying to get some sponsorship money? Is it putting together proposals? What is like, if you want to get started next summer?
Yeah.
How much money do you need?
Yeah.
And what is your plan to get there?
Yeah, so we need at least $1 million. We need, the first year is about 340,000. The second year it will advance to about 500. Now that's based on us having a certain number of kids, though.
Kids there, like you said.
The first 2 years are really important because of the equipment. You're gonna have to buy a lot of the equipment.
Yes,
all the stuff like that. And then you're gonna spend a lot of time on developing the land, right? In terms of where you're gonna do certain crops. You need to study the land and see where is the flooding happening in the land.
There's a ton of learning involved.
plant
Yeah.
cells there. So just for the farm program, we're looking at about 800,000 to $1 million there, right?
Does the state provide money per kid?
No, the
they
state
don't.
hasn't given us anything for anything at this point. We haven't got $0 from the state. We're thinking about applying for the
Jesus.
CIF, the Community Investment Fund. But
round 8.
round 8 is happening now.
No, round 7's right now.
Sorry, they said they started round 8. So round 9 is going to be the next one that we're going to be potentially having available.
He's right.
Yeah,
round
round
8 is now.
Yep.
And how many people right now would you say are working towards this goal to try to raise money for this program?
Yeah, so I mean, my team is small. My team is really small. We're all volunteers. So
yeah,
really,
you're doing it on your own time.
Yeah, it's 3 of us, and we're all doing it after our 9 to 5s.
Okay.
And then again, we're trying to
You're reaching out to
transition to build authentic relationships with philanthropic donors. Now, anybody who knows about building authentic relationships with philanthropic donors, that takes an extended period of time. You're not going to find a donor that's willing to give you, $100,000 over 3 to 5 years. Talking to him for 2 weeks, you got to talk.
Have you ever met or talked with Trisha Bailey from UConn?
Is that the Jamaican woman who gave the largest donation?
I had her on my podcast.
I reached out via email or via snail mail.
I have her number.
It would be, if you can do a soft introduction, I owe you big time.
Because she is big into helping people and philanthropy.
She gave the largest donation in UConn history.
She saved the UConn track program, and she built the UConn Student Center.
Yep.
I did a podcast with her. She was gracious enough to come on my podcast.
Love
I was as nervous as I've ever been in my life. I've never interviewed a black woman before. I was terrified.
Yeah.
You should be.
Especially on that bitch.
if you go on my Facebook page, I just reposted clips from the interview.
I love that.
If you watch the actual interview, I look like a complete jackass because I tried to look stylish. I wore a maroon shirt that the collar was too tight and my head looked like it was going to pop off, and it was beet red. And I wore a clip-on tie that looked ridiculous.
Clip-on tie.
She was dressed to the nines. She was absolutely perfect.
Yes,
she has a business seminar coming up that I was going to talk with her to help. I was going to interview her to help market and promote her business seminar.
Yeah.
I got yelled at to not ask her for money, but I could definitely talk about what you're doing because, especially being part of UConn, and this is such a massive undertaking that you're doing, and you have a small team, and you're really, really, you really believe in this, and Absolutely. I can just hear it in your voice, the belief that you have in it. So that is something. And then the other man I would speak with, I don't know if you've heard of Robert Belcourt. He's a UConn alum. He is a gazillionaire out of New Jersey. He runs Cornerstone Financial. He likes me a lot. He was on my podcast. And he is also becoming a sponsor. So those are avenues you could go, but you're realistically talking like you're going to be going to select businesses and corporations and trying to get them to invest in this.
Yeah, so that's where we have to go now. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the route you have to go.
Yeah, that's the only sustainable because we're doing this for 50 to 100 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wow. We're trying to make something 50 to 100 years.
And there might be, just talking to the right people, some state funding that's already available that can just happen.
There is. I mean, I know that there is because in New York State, I sold radio and digital marketing, and I found a grant that nobody even knew existed. And I got 2 businesses grants for $150,000 each. And it was just based up for digital marketing.
Nice.
And they did, they didn't even know it existed. And I just went on a website and found it.
I flipped that.
I love that.
Yeah.
We had to get someone to, you have to write it perfectly to get approved for it.
And you
But,
wrote it?
My friend had a friend write it for him.
Okay.
The country club that ended up getting the grant had someone who worked there write the grant. But here's the thing: nobody else applied.
Even knew, but I know.
Steve,
I
nobody
know.
knew, bro.
I know.
Nobody knew about it. That was the thing.
You got millions and millions of viewers. Let me just tell them really quickly the website, because you said you had like 95 million views. So I need to tap into that.
Our YouTube channel. Yeah, our YouTube
So
channel.
let me let them know the website real quick, which is AA Society 024 AA African American.
Well, listen, what you need to do is what I was telling these guys.
I know, I heard you.
What I did with the crazy lady from the animal shelter.
I heard you, yeah.
You can, you're asking for sponsorship money, you're asking for donations.
Yeah.
You can provide them something in return.
Yes. Yeah.
Podcast marketing.
Yeah.
You have 20 podcasts. I can put them on every show. I can target any city they want, any age group, any demographic, and it works. I've never lost a sponsor.
Yeah.
And it's been extremely, extremely successful.
My list.
Okay.
So
I'm taking notes. That's why I keep disappearing. So every time you talk, I'm writing it down. Yeah.
Use the podcast is a tool you guys can use to bring in residual income.
Okay.
And the lady from the animal shelter, if she wasn't married, she probably would have made out with me. Because she expected to go in.
Yeah.
And she was just going to get $1,000 for the event she has this
a
weekend.
requirement? We have to make out with you for not married?
No, we got to be Eskimo brothers or pies or whatever.
I just want to figure out Eskimo pie.
I don't know if you do want to figure that out. I don't know if you do want to figure that out.
I did not think this. I had no idea it was going to work. People jumped all over it because they're getting something in return, obviously, by providing for the people of need.
Pick your brain, because I want.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, I know nothing. Don't pick my brain. I'm clueless. Believe me.
Nah,
I'm dumber than a box of rocks. I just know that from witnessing her with the way how she did it, that being able to offer them something in return will get you more money.
Got it.
Because now you can say, we can provide you advertising on a YouTube channel that has 1.4 million subscribers and averages between 150 and 180 million views per month for their content.
Yeah.
And that is something that will resonate with them.
Yeah.
And I'll send Ja over the proposal so he can look at it. The proposal I made was kind of long, but I'll also send you my partner, Coach Schumann. He's got the YouTube numbers where it shows where we compare to, like Dan Patrick, Barstool, everyone else that we're higher than.
Yeah.
And then he shows like the major companies like ESPN, Pat McAfee, Joe Rogan, who are above us, but not like, Russell, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Can you stop fucking laughing? What are you laughing at? I'm trying to make a point. Is that
I was talking
do you have
to
a banana?
It was my
Is that a
fault.
fucking banana? Are you eating a banana right now?
It's a pear.
Do you have ADD? I mean, did you take your Ritalin today or something? Like, what the fuck? Ja, give him his Ritalin.
Everything we're talking about is there's a lot of meat to it.
Yeah.
So I've actually been enacting connections for ideas that have come up as a result of this conversation. So when you see me on my phone, like I sent a text to Ashley, the fractional program manager that I was talking about. with me, her, and Jameson.
I want ask Ashley how I can get the title fractional. I want to be a fractional program manager.
Me too.
Ask her, where I can apply for a fractional program manager job.
Oh no,
I think I want to do that.
no. What she does is she'll say, "This is what we're trying to accomplish."
Yes,
So
and
give
that's what she focuses on.
She'll give you a proposal,
No, she's good.
Okay.
right? She'll give you a proposal, and then
And she's from Guyana.
right,
Really?
she's Guyanese also. Yep.
You know, my girl,
Um,
Guyanese.
And she
Oh,
James-
word. Black Guyanese.
Her dad's Indian and her mom's African.
Word.
She
That's
gets
what's
a
up.
lot of.
Are there any other nonprofits that you're planning on working together with?
Part of. Oh, wait, my bad.
No. Go ahead.
Well, part of Ashley's job is to see who else would be an ideal strategic partner.
That fits in. I got
She
you.
comes from that corporate world.
Yeah.
So when a corporation is genuinely trying to give money back, they want to make sure it's impactful. And
Of course, I completely
it
understand that.
comes from like a pure business mindset, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the strategy is just totally different. It's a different mindset. So
But you've been very. I mean, I don't know how aware of it you are, but
Aware? I'm not aware of anything.
no, I feel like you are pretty aware because the whole idea that you're talking about the podcast marketing.
That was not my idea. That was her idea. But yeah,
Well, it's a way to tie it all together,
Is it?
right?
Yes,
Where
yes.
everybody can,
yes, everyone makes money.
goal,
Yes,
and everyone can get a benefit that they need to continue to
exactly.
meet their goals with the larger overall objective, and then independently for their business or entity also.
Exactly.
and
Because
visibility is
the
everything.
businesses can give money for sponsoring what you're doing, and you can get additional money because now you're offering them marketing opportunities.
Right.
So I think that's huge. And I definitely can reach out to Trisha Bailey, even though I'm terrified of her. I'm terrified of black women. I'm terrified of women in general, but absolutely her. But I'll reach out to her. I would reach out to Robert Belcourt.
I appreciate that.
I would. I mean, I'd probably reach out to Burton too. I mean, Razul, don't you think
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
is worth at least talking to?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. I would reach out to him. And then the other guy who's like saved me, Sean Rabinowitz. You know Sean?
I know Sean.
Sean gave me $2,000 to start this podcast thing.
Nice.
He told me to check my phone. And I checked my phone and he Venmoed me $2,000. And I said, Sean, what the fuck are you doing? He said, you're going to do a pod. This is what you need to do. That you're good at this. You're going to be a podcaster.
Yeah.
I said, Sean, there's no way. He said, yes, this can work. This catching up with Huskies and letting them tell their story. That's your niche. That's going to work.
I love that.
I said, Sean, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And he gave me $2,000.
I love
And
that.
Jameson's a Husky.
I absolutely
We're all
am.
Huskies here.
Yeah, we are.
We're all Huskies.
So Sean is someone I can talk to, and the other guy who
Sean,
is
he donated to the fundraiser also.
who got him to donate to the fundraiser?
Good job. Good job. See? Finally, he's giving himself
There
credit.
you go. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just
Smart.
took an
Oh,
hour.
yeah. Tell Letitia Kevin Hart couldn't make it. You know I was going to open with that in my speech. I was so ready to open with that at my speech when I spoke at the House of Judge and say, I apologize, Kevin Hart couldn't be here, so you're stuck with me. And you know who talked me out of it? My goddamn father. I was so excited to do
I love
it.
that man. I love that man.
I was resentful. I had spite for weeks. I couldn't wait for that line.
You're still resenting.
And I
You
still
gotta
I
move
was resentful. Why?
I know why.
Why?
Right.
Why do you don't know why I'd be resentful? Because we didn't have enough people. We needed a celebrity speaker. We should have gotten someone like Kevin Hart. Okay, Letitia, how much do you think it would cost to get Kevin Hart to come to the fucking Swift factory in the ghetto of Hartford, Connecticut?
Brenda Watson.
Yeah.
I love Brenda
Yeah.
Watson.
Yeah.
Shout out, Brenda. What's up, Brenda?
She's the one
She
that
did the
actually
connection.
connected us.
She did the connection.
That was a connection. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I'm just trying to, we're talking in reality here. So in reality, how much do you think Kevin Hart would have charged to come to the fucking Swift factory in Hartford for 3 hours?
Saying though, Cully, that's not what she was saying.
I think
that's
we need
what
to
I'm
move
saying.
on.
There's a
And this is
disconnect.
live. This is live. Let's
watch
move on.
Razul, please explain to me what I'm saying. I'd love to know. Explain to me what you're saying. What she meant then.
No, what we need to do is we need to get everybody in the room, hash it out.
Yeah.
And eat
I
a
just
meal.
want to know. I just want to know. She said Kevin Hart. That was her word.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
You took it the wrong way. She didn't mean it the way you took it.
Oh, okay. How do you think she meant it?
Y'all crazy.
Let's move on. I
Yeah,
love you,
we have to have
Kelly.
a conversation.
I love you,
together,
Kelly.
yeah.
Let's move on.
I'm just saying. I took it as she needed a bigger name. That's all.
And it was
You need
offense
a bigger
number
No, I
two.
don't think she was saying that.
And it was
either.
offense number two.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
But
you're already a little hypersensitive.
And she's a black woman, and you were
I'm
probably
very.
Terrified of black women.
I know. I did. I got.
She always got the kicks.
Oh, and then I got in a fight with her on the phone. That was great when she called me. I wish I could have recorded that conversation for you. The
You
conversation.
think you could beat her in a fight?
No, not a chance.
I don't know why you talking so much shit live.
I'm not talking
Like
shit.
you about to get beat up. Bro, she's from the Bronx, bro.
I'm not talking shit. I'm just the only point I'm making is to get Kevin Hart would have cost like
That's
$100,000.
not what she meant,
She didn't
though.
want Kevin Hart though. That's what I'm saying, Cully.
Yeah.
I think there was a disconnect.
Oh, okay. So she meant another big time comedian that would have done it for free. God, I missed it. That went right over my head.
Y'all did something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, indeed.
We got to figure out what that trigger was.
Yeah,
That-
y'all did something.
No, it's fine. But I really do wish you, if I recorded the phone call, you would have loved it because it was just like, hey, what's going on? So ticket sales are down. Your marketing campaign's not working. Do you know what the fuck you're doing? Bye. That was
She's a data analyst. She's just stating numbers.
no, I know. She's direct. She's direct. I know. She's direct, and I can't talk to black women. But so that's a good plan going going forward.
Right. Be terrified the rest of
She's
his
gonna
life.
get him in line.
You're terrified him.
I am terrified of black women. I really am. I'm terrified of black women. So I will get in touch with Madeline about the detox. I think that's good. I'll get in touch with Trisha Bailey to see if I can at least get a call for you guys. Robert Belcour, Sean Rabinowitz is someone who would give. And then Razul, honest to God, Tommy Collins is more generous than anyone, and he's wealthy.
He hasn't wrote one thing down. Talking about he don't have.
Tommy donated also. You got Tommy.
Yeah, you know why he donated?
Because you harassed him.
Because Steve Cully.
I know.
Nice.
I know you did.
All the shit you gave me, Steve Cully contributed a lot.
You did.
I never talk shit about you.
I said you contributed tremendously.
I know.
I only gave you flowers.
And
You got flowers, Cully.
I didn't get Steve Cully in my life. You know what I mean?
You know?
I need me a cool white boy. You know what I mean?
That's terrifying.
I brought my father to the House of Changes. My father's like, we're in the hood. He's like, are you sure we're going to the right place? And then he's like, oh, this building's wonderful.
Yeah.
My father's sitting with Bev Sims. That was I was like an out of body experience. It was so fucking surreal. But yeah, those are the people we can go to. Tommy is super generous and he's got money. The other guy, Razul, is you remember my old roommate Mike Woodward at all? Woody, Woody is doing phenomenal, and Brian Krause is doing phenomenal. So those are two guys that would potentially.
You didn't mention my email. Don't forget to send me the email.
I'm gonna send it as soon as I get off here. Oh fuck! I got another.
I'm gonna send Letitia over to talk to you. Make sure you send the email.
You will have it in 2 minutes. I got another podcast coming up with a UConn basketball player. I'm nervous about that. So it's gonna be. Fucking what's her name? Cassie Kearns.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I thought you were
okay.
gonna say Diana Taurasi.
Yeah.
Oh, D will come on soon.
Yeah,
D
she
will
will.
come on Maria's podcast.
I know.
Cassie just likes to come on because she enjoys analyzing me for some reason.
You're entertaining,
You are
color.
entertaining. Cody.
You're entertaining.
I must be because this is the third
You
time
have
she's
the
ever
memory
come
of an
on.
elephant. The memory of an elephant.
But yes, I will work on that for you to try to get that done, and I'm going to send that proposal as soon as I get off here. Okay,
Thank you. I don't want to send Letitia down there. I don't want to do it, but
please don't.
I'll have
Please.
to do it. You know,
All
I
right.
gotta follow through.
Madeline, proposal, Belcor, Trisha, Sean, Tommy, Woody. All right, I
Woody.
got
That's good. You got a good memory,
Go
Cody.
like an elephant.
Cully, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You know, he could have been left tackle. He could have.
I
Yeah.
admire what you're doing so much, and I just know it's going to make a tremendous difference.
Mm.
And the whole DEI thing, I don't get. I don't know why that it was so important to cut the funding and all that. That just DEI has always existed. Bellamy told me, so I don't know why they just shit canned it. But
It was getting very popular, and there was a lot of fear surrounding it.
it was popular because it was working.
Exactly, that's the fear. That's the fear.
Oh, okay.
You want to kill it before it becomes too big, where you can't kill it. But once it gets to a certain level, it makes it very difficult to undo.
Now, like when I write on a job application, if I say I'm non-binary, does that consider me like DEI or no?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Maybe it depends on who's looking at it.
I've listed myself as non-binary just as kind of a joke. Do you know what non-binary is?
Anyway,
Well, I've done it before, but do you know what non-binary is?
Right. You don't necessarily
associate with anything.
Yeah,
right.
you don't have a sex. You're
Yeah.
they or them.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny to do, so I just started saying I was non-binary, and I say I'm a hipster. And Terry disagrees that I dress like a hipster. I strongly agree. I do dress like a hipster because
I can see both sides of it.
Well,
And
the orange shirt.
I wore a blue suit out of spite for Razul. Jameson told me where I can get my red suit. I'm going to Burlington. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
And I'll get this stuff done.
So what's the purpose of wearing the blue suit? Was it like to hurt?
It was out of spite. It was just out of spite. It was out of
to hurt
spite.
Razul's feelings?
No, it was me being angry at him. So I took out my anger by wearing a blue suit. Like,
Did you know that he was angry at you?
No, I didn't know.
I think we need to do this whole forgiveness. Like,
no, it wasn't real.
I think we need to like.
I think you need to make some teachers here for that.
No, that's serious.
No,
We need to.
serious.
No,
not
I'm
true.
just saying.
There's a lot of healing that needs to happen.
There's a lot of-
between y'all.
It's resent. I have a lot of resentment towards Razul because he's very good looking and he's had a lot more sex than me. So it's not anger, it's resentment. It's just resentment. That's all. It's just resentment.
No, that's not.
I love Razul. I would take a bullet for
We
Razul.
need a forgiveness intervention.
All right, Razul, I'm sorry that I wore a blue suit to Chris Hill's wedding out of spite.
He liked it. He loved it. It was the opposite. It was the opposite result of what you were trying to do.
Yes, I wore the blue suit out of spite, and everyone looked at me and were like, "What are you wearing? Why are you?" This is for like, if you could have seen the look on Rashad's face, they were just like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm
Colin,
like,
you looked wonderful during the fundraiser. You look beautiful.
I did, and thank you for the fundraiser because I'm going to be having a documentary. So
Yeah.
I
And Letitia played a role in you getting there. You got to give her some flowers
She did.
because she helped organize the whole thing.
Oh, with Dorina. Okay. Yes.
Not
that's
necessarily
great.
with Dorina, but with the fundraiser.
No, she did. She did.
You got to do a healing session.
But you guys personally don't know Dorina.
Yes, well, we do now, but the connection was through.
She said she's doing a commercial or
Alexandra.
something for you too, right?
Yeah, at the house. But Alexandra made the connection.
Okay.
She's one of the tenants in the Lewis business that we're connected with here in West
It,
Hartford.
it was just very surprising that she came right up to me and's like, I want to do a documentary on you.
Because you're great. You're a great speaker.
You're
I
magnetic.
am. Listen, I will not argue
Handsome
that.
man.
I am
You're
a
a handsome
phenomenal
man.
speaker. I am not a handsome man. I am a phenomenal.
Big, sexy,
You're a
hunk of
teddy
flesh.
bear. You're
Listen.
brilliant.
There is no greater speaker than me. I can get the crowd riled up. I am great. The documentary thing. Do you know what I said to her when she first approached me?
What?
She sat down. She said, I was inspired by your speech. I'd like to do a documentary on you. I said, yeah, 2.5 million. I think we can do it for. And she said, oh, well, okay. Well, if you change your mind, just let me know. And I'm like, because I thought Razul or Uwe or Bellamy, someone put him up to this. And she's like dead serious. I'm like, you want to do a documentary on me? I'm like, why? Like, it's not like
your worth. We need to do like a love.
It's not like there's no happy ending here. Like,
he has imposter syndrome.
We gotta give Cully an Eskimo pie.
Well, when I'm on with Cassie Kearns, maybe I'll ask her. I'll see what she says about
You're
it.
gonna get in big trouble.
Okay.
Do you guys know her?
Stop. Just take that out of your
No, I'm just
vocabulary.
asking. Do you know her? I mean,
I don't know.
You don't want to.
You don't know her. Okay.
Imagination, Cully.
All right.
Trouble.
All right.
This
Well,
is why he's afraid of black people.
who do I have to mention? Ned Von Young, Fresh Fold Laundry Company, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, high-end laundry service. You drop your laundry off, you book online, they wash, dry, fold it for you at Land Speed Records. You pick it up. They have a subscription model, weekly or bi-weekly. They have deals for college students. You can go to their website at freshfold-laundry.com. Ned Von Young, fresh himself. He's doing fantastic. If you're in Chapel Hill, go there. And I think that's it. So as much fun as I've had talking with you, I will get to work. I have to email this fucking proposal before Letitia gets here, and I will be on with Cassie in 5 minutes.
Be on her way because we're over 2 minutes. That's how you set the text, bro.
So, Jameson, I hope that we get to talk more. If you're available next week, definitely we'll set up a time. We'll have you on so we can talk more and keep working on progress to get you in touch with the right people. Absolutely. And again, like I said, use the proposal. If all you need to do, if you can get meetings with the businesses and then have me on, I can talk about the podcasting and why it's so valuable while you do your thing, and that will help. That's how she wanted to do it. Exactly. So because I don't want you guys talking about it alone because you don't know everything. So I can talk about it, and that'll help. And it'll hopefully give you, it'll at least get you residual money that'll come in each month. Okay. So for Ja, and he's fathering for good. Razul, fathering for bad. Jameson, I love what you're doing, and the environmental law, the passion, the farm. I mean, I hope there's goats and pigs and turkeys and all that stuff, and maybe you'll plant some corn, and it'll be good. So just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at Letitia.